So today I want to talk to you a bit about emotional eating because from personal experience and from 7 years working with clients doing nutrition consultation work, I really have come to believe that it is something that we can't ignore, because if you want to make lasting changes to your diet and improve your health and manage your weight long term, it is something that needs to be tackled if it's an issue for you. And it is an issue for most people, if I'm honest. Research suggests that 75% of our eating behavior is actually led by emotional factors. And certainly from personal experience, and as I said, dealing with clients, I would definitely concur with that. So the question is, if you are emotional eating, how often are you doing it? What are you eating? How much of it are you eating? And to what extent is it actually affecting your weight and your health? What is emotional eating? In a nutshell, it is eating in a way to change the way that you feel. Often it's to make yourself feel better. So if you're feeling tired or stressed, bored, lonely, trying to put off doing something, so for example, they're the sort of negative emotions that we often use food to comfort ourselves with, or soothe away any negative emotions. But don't forget that actually emotional eating can often be linked to positive feelings. So for example, we often eat more than we should, or reach for kind of unhealthy foods when we want to celebrate, and maybe as part of romance. Or a very common one is to just reward yourself after a busy day, a tough week. So for example, it's the weekend and we look to reward ourselves and we just reach for food to give us that reward and that sense of pleasure. I also think that we all have different triggers. Like a lot of them are the same for many people, but all our individual style and our individual triggers are just that. They're individual. And the more in tune you can become with your own personal triggers, the stronger position you will be in to put little plans in place to actually overcome them. So I recommend that you keep a food mood journal. Now, it sounds kind of complicated, but really it isn't. It's just about getting a pen and paper, getting yourself a little jotter, and any time that you have the urge to either overeat or reach for comfort foods, to just jot down what was going on. So the when and the where, what you were thinking beforehand, while you were eating the food, afterwards, or maybe you didn't give in to the craving. But it's just really useful to know what was going on in your mind. What kind of thoughts were you having? What kind of feelings were you having? And sometimes it's less about thoughts and feelings, and it might be more about the circumstances. So the place, being around certain people, certain days of the week. So again, a lot of the time it's to do with thoughts and feelings, but sometimes it's just about certain places, events, people that trigger you. But by keeping a food mood journal, you will begin to see what your individual patterns are. And I think that can be, knowledge is power. So we start off, any trying to remedy anything, we need to start off with just having more personal awareness. So I really would encourage you over the coming weeks to just tune into yourself and look at what your triggers are if you are led to emotional eat. And it is something that I will be going into in more detail in future online programs. And as mentioned, I do go into it more deeply in my book. But as for the purpose of this video, I just want you, for the moment, to have a little bit more awareness.